Hello students, today we are talking about mechanical properties of solids. As you know well, matter is classified into four types: solids, liquids, gases and plasma state. There are four states of matter. So in solids, today we are discussing about the mechanical properties of solids. Mechanical, if you apply a mechanical force, what is the change in shape, change in size, change in area, change in volume or change in dimension? Physical, whatever the physical changes in the body, that we are discussing in this chapter. That is called mechanical properties of solids. Then what do you mean by a rigid body? A rigid body is one which is having a definite shape and definite size, and which can be which can change its shape and size by applying a large external forces, right? What do you mean by rigid body? A rigid body is normally a solid body which is having a definite shape and size, and its size can be changed by applying a larger external forces. Larger external forces are required to change the shape and size of the body, to change the length, to change the volume, and shape of the body is what is called as a rigid body. So now we will discuss some of the terminologies in this chapter. First one is mechanical properties of solids. As you know well, solids are having a definite shape and size, right? What do you mean by rigid body? A rigid body is normally a solid body which is having a definite shape and size, and whose shape and size can be changed by applying a larger external forces. Then what do you mean by deforming force? Deforming force. A deforming force is one which is deforming force is an external force is required to change the length, volume or to change the shape and size of the body is what is called deforming force. What do you mean by deforming force? It is an external force. An external force is required to change the length of a body, to change the volume of a body, to change the area of the body, or to change the shape and size of a body is what is called as a deforming force. Then what do you mean by a restoring force? Restoring force. So look at carefully. I want to change the shape and size of this body. I want to change the shape and size of the body. This is what is called external force. But there is a intramolecular forces are set up. Intramolecular forces are set up inside the body. That intramolecular forces are acts against the deforming forces. Then what do you mean by deforming force? First point. Deforming forces are the external forces are required to change the length, area and volume, that is to change the shape and size of a body, are called deforming forces. Then what is restoring force? A restoring forces are acts internally against the deforming forces. That restoring force, restoring, bring back the body to its original shape and size. That is called as restoring force. The other name of restoring force is also called as an internal force. The internal forces acts inside the body, a solid body, which acts against the deforming force. That internal force is nothing but a restoring force which bring back the body to its original configuration, original length, original area and original volume, matlab original shape and size. That is what is called as a restoring force. Whenever there is an external forces are acting on a solid body, there will be an internal forces are set up. Inside the body. That forces are called restoring forces. Then we will talk about elasticity. What do you mean by elasticity? When an external forces are acting on a body, elasticity is a property of a body. Elasticity is a property of a body by virtue of which bring back the body to its original shape and size after removing the deforming forces. Elasticity, you know, the rubber, steel, they are elastic in nature. When you are applying in external forces, there is a change in shape and size. If you remove the external forces, the body will regain its original shape and size. Elasticity is a property of a body by virtue of which it regains its shape and size. It regains its shape and size after removing the deforming forces. It is called as elasticity, and that phenomenon are called as elastic bodies or elastic materials, and that phenomenon is called as elasticity. Elasticity, the phenomenon by which a body which regains its original shape and size after removing the deforming forces are called elastic bodies, and that phenomenon is what is called as elasticity. So steel is an elastic material, rubber is an elastic material. Am I right or not? You know, when you stretch a rubber, after removing the external force, the rubber will regain its original shape and size. Am I right? So even steel is elastic in nature. Quartz is a crystal. Quartz is more elastic in nature. So what do you mean by perfectly elastic material? Perfectly elastic material, the materials which are completely regains their original shape and size after removing the deforming forces are called perfectly elastic bodies, perfectly elastic materials. Quartz is a perfectly elastic, approximately perfectly elastic in nature. Then what do you mean by plasticity? Plasticity, so you know this is a plastic material. When you are applying external forces, the body will not regain its original shape and size. The materials which are not regains their original shape and size are called as plastic material. When even though after removing the external forces they do not regain their original shape and size are called plastic materials, and that phenomenon is what is called plasticity. So putty is right, is a plastic material. So clay is a plastic material, mud, clay, these are the example for a plastic material. The materials which do not regains their original shape and size after removing the deforming forces. Please copy these terminologies first. Rigid body, deforming force, restoring force, elasticity, perfectly elastic, and plasticity and plastic material. Deforming force, the example for deforming force, any external force is a deforming force. This is called as a deforming force, is also nothing but a F external force. F external force is a deforming force. What is restoring force? Restoring force. F restoring force. F restoring force. Please copy the things. Now we'll move on to the elastic behavior of solids. Right? How to study the elastic behavior of solids? How the molecules are arranged in a solid body. Right? See here, elastic behavior of solids At equilibrium position, at equilibrium condition, the position of the atoms or molecules, and normally solids are having a definite shape and size. There is a compact arrangement of atoms or molecules. There is a compact arrangement of atoms and molecules in a given solid. Definite array of a regular arrangement of atoms and molecules, and the interatomic distance between the two atoms will remain constant. Intermolecular distance between the two molecules will also be constant when there is no external forces are acting on a body, acting on a solid. Now, normally when there is no external forces are acting on the body, because there is a internal molecular forces, intramolecular forces are exist inside the solid body. That intramolecular forces keep the body in a stable condition. Am I right or not? So at equilibrium position, the position of the molecules and the atoms will remain same when there is no external forces are acting on a body. So now the same body, look at carefully, when the same body is acted upon by the internal external forces, these external forces are acting on the same body. Now what happens? See, the molecular distance is increasing. The molecular distance is increasing, even the interatomic distance is also increasing. As a result, there is a change in length of a body, or normally there is a change in shape and size of a body. See here, this is called as external force. Deforming force is called external force acting on a body. There is an increase in the intramolecular distance or interatomic distance. So there is whatever the intramolecular forces are exist inside the molecule, inside the body, there is a intramolecular forces are exist inside the solid body. These intramolecular forces are acts against the external forces. Look at carefully. There is an external force is acting on this body to change its length, but there is a intramolecular forces are there. The intramolecular forces are set up inside the body. That intramolecular forces are acting in opposite to the external forces. Say this is also external force, this is also external force. Opposite to the external force, there is a intramolecular forces, internal forces. Nothing but a restoring forces are set up inside the molecule. Because of the molecular force of attraction, because of the atomic force of attraction between the atoms, right? So though that force of attraction between the atoms and molecules, right, which is called as internal forces, that internal forces will act against the external forces. So there is a restoring forces are developed inside the solid body. This restoring force is acts against the external force. Now look at carefully. When an external force is acting on, if there is no external force acting on the spring, therefore the length of the spring will remain same. Now look at carefully. Now the same spring is acted upon by an external force. F is not equal to 0. There is x is the displacement from the original position. So whatever the external force is acting on the spring, right? There is a intramolecular forces are set up inside the spring. That is what is called restoring force. That restoring force generated in the spring, which will bring back the spring to its original condition. Now I am applying external force. As you are increasing the external force, there is an increase in the restoring force. That is called intramolecular forces are set up inside the spring. That is called as a restoring force. That restoring force acts against the external force, which is bring back the spring to its normal condition after removing the external forces. Please copy these things. This is what is called elastic behavior of solids. Why solids are, what is the reason for solids exhibiting elastic in nature? Very simple. In case of solids, there is a compact arrangement of atoms and molecules. When you are applying an external forces, on the solid body, there is a intramolecular force of attraction and interatomic force of attraction exists inside the solid body. Those internal forces will give rise to a restoring force. That restoring force will keep the body in its original shape and size, and which is always acts against the external force. Please write down these things. So now we'll move on to the stress. What do you mean by stress? Restoring force per unit area. See here, I want to change the shape and size of this body. I am applying an external force. There is a internal forces are called, internal forces are set up inside the body, right, which is acts against the external force per unit area, is what is called as stress. Stress is defined as the restoring force per unit area. Restoring force, the other name of restoring force is also called as deforming force. What is that? Deforming force. Deforming force per unit area. Deforming force per unit area is also called stress. So very simple guys. What do you mean by stress? It is defined as the restoring force per unit area. I want to change the shape and size of a body. I am applying external forces. Against the external force, there is an internal forces are acts per unit area. How much of the internal forces are acting per unit area to keep the body in its original configuration? Therefore, stress is defined as the deforming force per unit area or restoring force per unit area is what is called stress. How comes the stress? Look at carefully. Now I am applying an external force on this body. There is a intramolecular forces are set up. There is a restoring forces are set up inside the body. How much of the restoring forces are set up inside the body per unit area? That is what is called as stress. Restoring force per unit area. But restoring force is equal to what? Deforming force. Absolutely. The magnitude of deforming force is equal to magnitude of restoring force. Therefore, stress is equal to F by A. Force is measured in Newton. Area is measured in meter square. Newton per meter square is the SI unit of stress. Again, force is equal to mass into acceleration. The dimension of mass is m power 1. Acceleration is L power 1 by T power 2 divided by dimension of area. Area is length into breadth, L square. So whatever the denominator of the L square is 1 only. Denominator of the L square is 1 only. So now take the reciprocal. Therefore, this will become again square and L get cancelled. Square and L power 1 get cancelled. M by T square into 1 by L power 1. Right? So L power 1 will go to numerator. L power 1 will go to numerator and we will get L power minus 1, M power 1, T power minus 2. This is the dimension of formula for stress. What do you mean by stress? The restoring force acts per unit area. When an object or a body which is, so it is acted upon by an external force. When an object or a body which is acted upon by an external force, there is a change in shape and size of the body. How much of the internal forces are set up inside the body per unit area against the deforming force is what is called as stress. Right? So therefore stress is nothing but a restoring force per unit area or deforming force per unit area. The magnitude of deforming force is equal to the magnitude of restoring force. Therefore, if you write the dimensions, you will get L power minus 1, M power minus 1, T power minus 2. Now you will move on to the types of stress. What do you mean by longitudinal stress? Longitudinal stress, normal stress, compressive stress, tensile stress. All the four names are one and the same. Longitudinal stress, normal stress, compressive stress, tensile stress. Right? So now let us consider this is a metallic wire. It's an insulated wire actually. So this is a metallic wire is there na. Keep on put a load on the metallic wire. Put a load on the metallic wire. Length is increasing, but area is decreasing. Am I right or not? Observe carefully. So attention please. Tensile stress, longitudinal stress, normal stress, compressive stress, they all are one and the same. There is an increase in the length. The stress which is acts along its length is what is called as a tensile stress. How much of the restoring force offered by the material per unit area along its length is what is called as tensile stress or longitudinal stress, compressive stress. longitudinal stress, normal stress, compressive stress, tensile stress. Even if you compress the material, right, there is a decrease in length. So how much of the restoring force is required, right? How much of the restoring force offered by the material per unit area when it is decreasing in its length is what is called as a compressive stress, longitudinal stress, normal stress, tensile stress, all are one and the same. Then what do you mean by volume stress? Volume stress, nothing but a hydraulic stress. Volume matlab there is a change in volume. Take a perfectly spherical body, right? Apply a force in all the directions. Apply a force. What kind of force? A deforming force is acting on a body, a solid sphere. In all the directions, there is a decrease in volume. So that is what is called volume stress or hydraulic stress. How much of the restoring force set up inside the volume per unit area is what is called as volume stress or hydraulic stress. Let us consider this is the volume of a solid sphere. V is the volume of a solid sphere which is acted upon by deforming forces in all the direction. There is a change in volume. Delta V is the change in volume. Is what is called as volume stress. The volume stress is nothing but again how much of the volume, right? How much of the volume changed when under the application of the deforming forces is what is called as a volume stress. Next is tangential stress. First you copy these things. What do you mean by tangential stress? So tangential stress means see here, this is a perfect rectangular cube. This is right. You apply a force along the tangential direction. The moment when you apply a force along the tangential direction, this face is fixed. This is fixed face. So now you are applying a force along the tangential direction. This is called tangential stress. Look at carefully, or shear stress. This is fixed face. You are applying a tangential force here, right? There is a displacement of the sides of the cube. Am I right? Yeah, see here. This is called tangential stress, or you can take it as a shear stress. Please attention here. Tangential stress or shear stress. So let us consider a perfect ABCD is a perfect square cube, right? Now you apply a tangential force. What is the direction of the tangential force? This is the direction of tangential force. Tangential force. You are applying a tangential force on this surface. This AB is a fixed surface, fixed face of the cube, and where you are applying a tangential force, there is a lateral displacement. The face AD is changing to AD dash. The face BC is changing to BC dash. This is what is called tangential stress. The concept of stress is over. There are three types of stress. One is called longitudinal stress, tensile stress, compressive stress, normal stress. This is one type of stress. Second one is volume stress or hydraulic stress. Third one, tangential stress. You apply a force tangential. This is fixed face. This is the top face of the cube, right? Apply a force along the tangential direction. There is a lateral displacement of the layers. There is a lateral displacement of the faces, right? So how much of the shifting, how much of the planes are shifting laterally. That is what is called as a shear stress. Now next is, what do you mean by strain? What do you mean by strain? Strain is defined as the, ಅಯ್ಯೋ ನನಗೆ ಭಾಳ ಸ್ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಆಗಿದೆಯಪ್ಪ ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ. ಸೊ ಹೌ ಮಚ್ ಆಫ್ ದ change in shape and size of the body per unit to the original shape and size of the body, right? Strain is defined as the ratio of change in length, breadth, volume, area to the original length, breadth and volume. So strain is defined as the ratio of change in configuration of the body to the original configuration of the body is what is called strain. There are three types of strain. What is called longitudinal strain or tensile strain. Tensile strain is a constant. See here, longitudinal strain, increase in length by increase in length or decrease in length divided by original length. Again, length is in meter. Change in length, delta L is called change in length. It is also in meter. Original length is also in meter. Meter get cancelled. Strain is a physical quantity having no unit and no dimensions. Next, volume or bulk strain, change in volume. So volume is changed, right, to the original volume. So bulk strain, change in volume by original volume is what is called as bulk strain. Then shear strain. Shear strain is defined as the, so actually this is shear strain. How much of the angle is changed? So this is the angle is twisted. The angle of twist is produced is what is called shear strain. See, while cutting a wire from a scissor, cutting plier, first it will twist, then it will cut. That is what is called shear strain. Tan theta, if this is theta, opposite to theta is opposite side. Delta L by L, this is the original distance separation between the fixed face and the top face. And what is the lateral displacement? This is the lateral displacement. AD dash and BC dash is the lateral displacement of the top layers of the body. So now please copy the things. So now we will move on to the Hooke's law. See here, what is Hooke's law? See here, you have a material. You can, if you keep on increase the stress, there is an increase in the length of a body. Am I right? So what is Hooke's law? So its length will be, it will not cut up to a certain elastic limit. Every material having its own elastic limit. You can stretch this wire up to a certain limit only, limiting value of its length. Within that elastic limit, so what is Hooke's law? Hooke's law states that the stress produced in a body is directly proportional to strain. As you keep on increasing the stress, there is an increase in the length of the body, right? So what is Hooke's law? The law states that within the elastic limit, the stress produced in a body is directly proportional to strain. Within the elastic limit, stress produced in a body is directly proportional to strain. Therefore, stress is proportional to strain. Therefore, stress is equal to, whenever you remove the proportionality symbol, is equal to E into strain, where E is called elasticity of the medium. What is E? E is called elasticity of the medium. Therefore, E is equal to, can I write, where E is called elastic constant. Therefore, stress is equal to E into strain. Therefore, E is equal to stress by strain. This is what is called Hooke's law. The law states that within the elastic limit, right? Within the elastic limit, stress is directly proportional to strain. मतलब as you keep on increasing the stress, there is an increase in the strain also. As you keep on increase the amount of force, external force, there is an increase in the strain also. Right? Therefore, stress is equal to E into strain, and E is equal to stress by strain. Now, when you plot a graph against stress versus strain for a metallic wire, iron wire, Fe, iron, right? So now what do you mean by stress versus strain curve? Taking plotting graph, stress taking stress along the x-axis and strain along the y-axis. So what do you take? Strain along the